We have got 4 operational homes at the moment, with 2 more opening in the next few months and 5 more in 2026.
Meet Andrew Winstanley, CEO of Connaught Care, one of the UK's fastest growing luxury care providers. And now he peels back the curtain on partnering with Prosperwell to accelerate their growth plans.
You're not just dealing with any old agency, you're dealing with people that are absolutely industry-leading experts in this sector. It just enables you to run your business with complete confidence that everything you're doing is pushing in the right direction, and you've got an agency behind you who are also pushing in that direction.
Andrew reveals what he was looking for in a digital marketing partner and Prosperwell's role in helping the group exceed forecasted occupancy targets.
The working capital going out is huge every single month, and there's nothing worse than modelling your projections incorrectly and having to completely reforecast every 3 to 6 months because you haven't quite got it right. So you want to be able to be confident that every pound you're spending has been spent in the right area. I think what Prosperwell do really well is help you understand exactly what those KPIs mean, why they're set the way they are, how we can improve them, where the biggest impact would be on your business. If you were to invest more to drive this area of that, then the impact of that will be far greater than trying to just double the amount of impressions that you have. All you ever want to do as an operator working with outside agencies is to have a huge amount of trust between the two of you. And when you've got an agency that you trust as well as much as you do with Prosperwell, then it's one less thing that we need to worry about. It's a fantastic agency to work with. I'm Andrew Winstanley. I'm the CEO of Connaught Care Group. We have got 4 operational homes at the moment, with 2 more opening in the next few months and 5 more in 2026. I think we've been working with Prosperwell across 2 different companies in my time for probably about 4 years now, and I think the need to try and find an outsourced digital marketing provider was driven really by the fact that there's a huge amount of investment in that side of the business, and there's a knowledge from budgeting that you need to invest quite heavily in your marketing strategy. But a lot of what we used to do was in-house. You would throw some money at PPC, and usually the people who'd sort of designed your website would take that sort of element as well, and they would do that investment for you. As digital marketing has evolved quite quickly, our ability to maintain that speed of development and knowledge of that development becomes more and more limited. So we went out to look for a partner that we could outsource that responsibility to, and started talking to Prosperwell, and since that point, we haven't looked back. The biggest difference working with a dedicated team of industry experts like Prosperwell is that the amount of data that you're able to get now, and how much validation of your investment that you get, and being able to actually sit back and look at it in what can be quite complicated terms sometimes, and to the layman, when you're reading reports around impressions and click-through rates and lead conversion stats and targets, sometimes you can just trust the agency to say, okay, well, they're telling me the right thing. I think what Prosperwell do really well is help you understand exactly what those KPIs mean, why they're set the way they are, how we can improve them, where the biggest impact would be on your business if you were to invest more to drive this area of that data reporting line. Then the impact of that will be far greater than trying to just double the amount of impressions that you have or the amount of your PPC spend. So I think you get a very, very transparent agency that you work with. They understand the sector very well, but what is really very clear is that they understand your business, and they recognise that no 2 care homes are identical, and what works for one won't necessarily work for another. It just gives you, number one, huge amount of confidence that you're spending your money in the right area. The monthly board meetings, we're able to report on the expenditure within digital marketing, and then all the way through the different KPIs that brings in, and ultimately how many admissions you've had from those campaigns and what the return on that investment is. Again, I keep going back to confidence, and all you ever want to do as an operator working with outside agencies is to have a huge amount of trust between the two of you. And when you've got an agency that you trust as well as much as you do with Prosperwell, then it's one less thing that we need to worry about. You know, we're in the startup phase of our business. We've opened 4 homes within the last 12 months, and there's nothing worse than modelling your projections incorrectly and having to completely reforecast every 3 to 6 months because you haven't quite got it right. What working with Prosperwell has enabled us to do is to really achieve those, and where previous experience will tell you that, okay, well, if you're achieving net 1.5, net 2 growth, then that's a solid business foundation, and you can continue to move from there. Prosperwell will push that and say, well, why can't we get to 3? Why can't we get to 4? And this is how and why we should be able to do that. They've got data to prove it. They've got working with other providers to show you where you should be investing your money and how you should be doing that. They'll sit down with you, work out a digital marketing plan, and enable you to actually know that these KPIs that you've set are now actually realistic. It just enables you to run your business with complete confidence that everything you're doing is pushing in the right direction, and you've got an agency behind you who are also pushing in that direction. A really good example of a high performance case study where we've worked very close with Prosperwell on was we opened Henbrook House in St Neots in May of this year. It was our 3rd home to open within a sort of 8 to 12 month period. And what Prosperwell did really well is prior to that opening, we met with them, we looked at an overall digital marketing strategy, we looked at the trends from the previous 2 homes. You know, without us all agreeing to push the net target, we were all very confident that actually we would out-achieve the net +3 per month pre-opening targets that we had. We opened in May, as I say. We are now sat at early September. We've got 28 residents in Henbrook House. 25 of those are permanent, 3 on respite, and they're all residential. No block bed local authority contracts, quick fills with nursing, and you know that's all really down to Prosperwell guiding and advising us, knowing our homes, knowing the local marketplace, and knowing exactly where and when we should be investing and in what. And that's given us huge confidence to say, well, let's keep going. We've got a vision as to where we want to get to as far as our company size is, but we're always able to turn that tap on or off as and when, slow it down if we need to, or accelerate it if we need to. They've got a very clear drive to be the digital marketing agency of choice for the care sector, and to be the leading experts in that sector. And in order for them to achieve that, they are always challenging themselves. They're prepared to innovate and do things differently. They're not just going to sit back and say, well, here's the blueprint, this is what we've done for XYZ home previously, so just go and do that. And I think when you're in a sector that can become very samey, and we talk about what are our USPs as a business, what differentiates us to care homes A, B and C down the road, and you can no longer rely on your physical product. The days of having a cinema and a hair salon and nail bar and gyms as unique selling points are long gone. Everyone has those now. You've got to try and push the boundary a little bit and say, well, what makes us different? What's going to be the external value proposition that's really going to make somebody choose your home over somebody else's home? And that's where having a digital agency that are also wanting to challenge themselves and innovate themselves and try things differently, it just goes hand in glove. You're very clearly aligned with our business, and I've alluded to the fact that we are in a ramp-up stage of a new business where it's very capital cost heavy. The working capital going out is huge every single month. So you want to be able to be confident that every pound you're spending has been spent in the right area. And I never feel for one moment that when we look and analyse our monthly management accounts and we look at the marketing spend, there's never a question to the head of marketing that are we overspending there, as have we got the control of those costs, because it's all very transparent and very clear. So it's a fantastic agency to work with.